Hi, it's Obo1975 and welcome to Elite Dangerous on the Xbox, and today I've got a fun silly video for you highlighting one of my new ships. This is a Viper 4 that I've built as a bit of a project. It's a Biweave Viper 4 ramming machine just for a bit of giggles, and I've stuck 4 shell cannons on there, 2 fixed 4 shells, a railgun and that turreted dispersal field cannon. I can't remember, I think that was something I engineered for my Anaconda and I plonked on this because I went for 2 fixed missiles at the front of my Anaconda. I'm probably going to switch it back and it's probably going to end up back on the Anaconda. But all in all, this is a fun, silly ship, but it suffers from a problem that a lot of small ships suffer from, and that is being able to output enough damage to overcome a good Biweave shield build. In this fight I'm up against the Crate Mark II, which has excellent regen. It is a very, very, very good Biweave ship. 1v1, the Biweave on the Crate Phantom and Mark II can be an absolute nightmare to deal with, unless you've got something that puts out consistent damage at range. Which is why a lot of people do stupid things like put one long range emissive pulse laser on ships, because it just means it's tiggling at distance, pling, tiggle, tiggle, tiggle. And I might do the same with this build. I might put one maybe long range beam laser with cooling or something on instead of that dispersal cannon. The dispersal cannon I might put back on my Anaconda, because it does help on there. It's good in a wing fight to have someone going around with dispersal field. It's quite a useful experimental effect. And on the smalls on the Conda, you're not really worried about damage output. You've got plenty of other weapons doing the damage output. They're just there for the experimental effect, which will probably be drag and something like dispersal field, so it's a good shout. As to this ship, this has been a fun experimental build. I know Savage One loves the Viper Mark IV, and many members of TOC opt for the smaller ships, and I really, really do enjoy the smalls. I honestly do. I think if you're not worried about dying, which I've never been worried about dying, I think smalls are an amazing amount of fun. And the great thing about being in a small is if you die, the rebuy is non-existent, so you can just have fun. And doing stuff like 4 shell cannon smalls is hilarious, because knocking people's aim off when they're trying to hit a small ship is super annoying. It works better on the Viper Mark III, I think, because the Viper Mark III is a bit more dodgy than this thing, especially with me flying it. This thing I'm taking as to be more of a bit of a meathead, and I'm just sort of going in there in my usual style, leading with my chin, you know, trying to orbit fast enough to evade stuff, but really just looking to get those 4 shell cannons to tilt them so it makes it easier for me to hit with the railgun. That was kind of my thinking. It's one of the things that works really well with my Corvette build, is going like cannons, you know, cannons, rail, cannons, rail, cannons, rail, and just flipping between the two. It works really well, and it keeps me interested. And at the moment I've got a plasma slug railgun on here, but I might obviously change that for a feedback cascade or a super pen. I don't know. Gonna experiment, gonna have fun. I've basically done all the armor, the shields, the engines, all the drives and that now finished on this ship, so now it's just playing around with the weaponry until I find something I really like. Considering how slow I've made this and how armoured, I'm thinking the cannons could be good fun. It orbits really well. I don't know what it's like flight assist off. I've only flown this flight assist on. One of the issues is the same as my issue with cannons, is they do run out of ammo really quickly. As you can see, my dispersal field cannons run out already. I think I might alter that to be a short range blaster one, I don't know, but I've got to say it's just really good fun being in smalls. Smalls for me is where it's at. I adore being in my Cobra Mark III until someone brings a missive. I absolutely, utterly love being in my Diamondback Scout stealth ship until someone brings a missive. A missive and missiles wreck those 2 ships and just make them coffins and no fun. But against, you know, a lot of people, they're just super fun. And if they haven't got a missive, it's hilarious. I do absolutely adore my ships that can do a bit of stealth and stuff. My Cobra Mark IV is my favourite pirate ship. It's really fun doing piracy in an incredibly weak ship. The amount of times I get attacked by cutters and corvettes in that little Mark IV Cobra is hilarious. And I have taken Atomic Tom's advice to heart, which is if you attack them in small ships, you know, and you win, you get to brag. If they win, you just mock them for not killing you. Therefore, you never lose. You've always got the bragging rights high ground because you're in a small. I mean, let's face it, it's watching someone that's put up a montage of people killing small ships is never going to be impressive. Whereas putting up a montage of small ships killing mediums or larges is always going to be impressive. So it's really good fun. This was just a fight to a standstill. This went on for ages. I think I've put this at double speed, and yeah, this clip's ridiculously long. But I mean, I fought this guy to a standstill. I'll take some pride in that, but I will admit I lost because I'm the one that leaves. I had very little cannon ammo left, and I was like, I've just reloaded once through my cannons. I'm not gonna be able to reload again, and I haven't done anything to that bi-weave. This is kind of pointless, going nowhere. Eventually I will lose because I will ram my hull off. Every time I get my shields back, I'm going in for that ram just to try and do something to do a bit of damage. So I do eventually call it quits and just head for the station. It was a good fun fight. It was an incredibly long fight, but ultimately, like I say, I'm on a hiding to nothing. I am eventually going to lose to how quickly that bi-weave regenerates. Not an ideal situation, but you know, it's all about now perfecting the weapons on this build to make it as fun as possible and as silly as possible. I want to keep with the mostly fixed weapons, but I probably will end up putting a turreted beam on there or something just to do a bit of consistent tickly damage. As you can see, I do try and get some reloads off while being hunted down, and yeah, it's you know, I get moaned at because I use this screen for reloading, but every time I use the other screen where the weapons are, this is a tip Baron Greenback gave me, that you can reload quicker from the other screen, but every time I go to the other screen it freezes. So ultimately I find it quicker in the synthesis screen because it's yeah, because the other screen's such a nightmare. It just freezes and locks up on me. It technically is quicker, and if the screen doesn't lock up and freeze for you, I would use the module screen to reload from there. It is quicker. But like, as you can see, I'm getting some decent hits in, but even when I'm frantically like going ham here, putting as much output damage as quickly as I can, you can see how little I'm affecting those shields. I mean, there's no shame in going down, swinging and giving it everything you got, and I think I gave it everything this little ship's got in this fight, and I do call it quits and jump out, you know, and declare a loss. But I'll leave you with a successful fight at the end of this video. I took on a member of TOC who was weakened after a vulture duel in his FDL, and I decided to take advantage and have a go at him in my little Viper. Anyway, I'll leave you with that clip, but I'll say that's all here, and leave you with the last clip with a bit of music and say that's all. Thank you very much for watching.